Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Combat Sports UK YouTube channel. And I am here with OKTAGON MMA's Tipsportt Gamechanger quarterfinalist at this stage, Predrag Bogdanovic. Predrag, how are you, buddy? How are things?
I'm amazing. Ready for the fight, soon to be, and that's it.
Yeah, very good, man. Happy to hear it. I mean, it's a weekend. Is today kind of a rest day? Is it an off day? What do you kind of get up to at this stage during camp?
Saturday and Sunday are usually rest days. Sunday is more of an active recovery. I go to sauna, I cold plunge. That's it. But from Monday to Friday, it's hell on earth.
It's hard work, right? It's hard work. Well, and we're building up obviously to a massive fight for you. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the previous fight, the Nafuka fight, right? How was that for you? Did it kind of match your expectations going into? Obviously, you had a lot of hype going into the fight. Where was your mindset going into that fight?
Pretty much how I envisioned it. It's how it ended, but I don't know. I thought it was gonna be a similar fight the way it was. I saw his grappling, I saw his stand-up, I knew what my advantages were, and I just capitalized, and that's it. I didn't gain anything from it, nor will I gain anything from the Keita fight, but I also see weakness in Keita's style, so I will exploit that as well.
Yeah, one thing that was incredibly impressive in that Nafuka fight in particular was your work on the ground and knowing how to transition effectively and then control Nafuka. Was that, like you said, one of those weaknesses that you spotted and that you thought, okay, my strength is here, so
Yes.
I can kind of implement this against him?
Yes, the more experienced you are, the higher level you are, the less strength you use. And I saw Nafuka has good technique, but he uses a lot of strength. He's very physical, and that's what I knew was going to be his weakness, because if you manage to survive the early round, he just tires himself out, because you cannot squeeze for 15 minutes. It is impossible. So I knew that he's gonna start strong. I just needed to be relaxed, and he's gonna gas out. And he gassed out. I mean, he did not look tired, but I knew his muscles were sore. He was completely sore out.
And it's interesting looking at it from the outside. You mentioned the term gassed out. You know, we can sometimes, I guess, from the outside see it happening. How do you as a fighter kind of know, okay, I've got him, I've broken him, this is now my time to go? Was there a telltale sign for you that made you think that?
Yeah, the way they breathe, the way they breathe. When you close the range on somebody, when you take them down, when you hear them breathing like rapidly, you know that it's gonna get tough really soon. But then they just start breathing slowly, but very, very, very intensely, and that's when I know that they're extremely tired. They will not get up. In the first round, everybody can get up. It's not a problem. There is not a man alive that cannot get up once, but the trick is to get up every time and not once. And we will see that in this fight as well.
Yeah, what do you think was the difference? Was it your strength and conditioning that gave you that advantage over him, or was it just your kind of positional control that you implemented in the fight?
I think it's both. I think he's actually stronger than me, which is rare because I'm one of the strongest fighters in the gym, and generally I'm very strong. But my cardio is really good. And I knew that he was gonna have problems with the cardio and the skill basis, because I know from just seeing his fights, the way he controls people, the way he sweeps. What I look in a fight when I see wrestlers is how actually well do they use their feet, not their just wrestling techniques. When they're on the cage, how well do they use the feet to trip, take down the opponent? That's what I'm looking for. And I did not see much of that. I saw just like powerful double, single legs, just explosion of power, but not too much technique. And that's where I draw the conclusions.
And one thing that really stood out to me in that first kind of opening sequences was that you looked really comfortable on the feet. You were switching stances. You looked very kind of happy to be there with him. Equally as much what happened later in the rounds on the floor. Was that kind of your mindset going into it? Just I'm going to be better than him in every part, or like how did you kind of plan going into the fight?
Every fight is different. For this fight specifically, we were very interested in speed and timing, because that's the thing that he has the most, and that's what I need to push the most. But for that specific fight, it was more of range, keep him at range, because he doesn't have good punches. He was not going to knock me out. He's more of a wrestler, jiu-jitsu type of a fighter. But we were just wanting to keep him at range, throw the knees, throw the up kicks, and then if we engage on the ground, I knew he wasn't gonna get up if I'm on top position. That was pretty much it. And yeah, he was gonna gas out. Everybody gasses out, and yeah, that's pretty much the game plan.
Yeah, and you can kind of see, I think you can see roughly halfway through that first round where his mentality changes. I think he tries to hit a sweep on you and you kind of transition and control him, and his mindset just goes, oh no.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
this
actually
guy's
that
got me.
happened to me as well in one particular fight against Will Brooks. I was just
Right.
out wrestling outclassed. And yeah, the thing is, when you cannot scramble from the bottom, you have to get up. And people don't, jiu-jitsu guys don't understand that. They don't get up. They just want to stay on bottom. That's bad. And that's what I learned from the fight. And Fuka is young, he will learn, but he should have tried to get up. Even maybe he couldn't have, but he should have at least tried not to stay on bottom. That is the mistake.
Yeah, big mistake, and it cost him his place in the Tipsport Gamechanger. So it was your debut in Octagon. I mean, first of all, what did you think about the organization? Making your debut on such a big stage. How were you impressed with how their setup is?
Like I said before, very, very impressed with Octagon. Just elite organization, one of the top, and in the future, probably, I don't know, maybe in the top 5. They're really, really, really impressive. The way they have the entire event organized. I don't know. I can't say a bad thing, honestly.
Oh, that's brilliant, and that kind of is respective of what I've heard from all the fighters with Octagon. So, how did the opportunity about Tipsport come around to you? Obviously, you're coming off a win from another organization back in December as well. How did the phone call come around? Were you aware of the Game Changer, or was it something you were looking at?
Yes, we were contacted last year to compete in the welterweight tournament, but I'm not a welterweight. And so we had other plans as well, the Will Brooks fight and other things, whatnot. But they said that this year it will be a lightweight tournament, and so they called us again this year, and we accepted. My manager asked me, "Do I want to fight?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." This is honest. This is the tournament for the King of Europe. This is how I see it. This is the #1 top spot in Europe for the lightweight division. Who is the King of Europe? This is how I see it.
Yeah, now that's what I was going to ask you next. Is it, as much as it is obviously financially, it's very, 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 very credible and very, very sought after. But for you, from a prestige point of view, is that kind of the more important part to be able to say, "Hey, I'm the King of Europe, come and get me," type thing?
That is 10 times more important, honestly. I want to be the best, and this is just one stepping stone. Being the best in Europe also means something for other fights as well. But just to prove that I'm the best means a lot more than money, honestly.
Yeah, and no easy matchups, as you said, to become the King of Europe. Coming up next is Losene Keita, who's coming off, a very decent few wins himself, apart from obviously the leg injury. I mean, you mentioned earlier we're going to see something in this fight. Well, how do you kind of see it early on? Well, I say early on, we're 3 weeks out, but before the fight coming up in a couple of weeks, how is your mindset about it right now?
I don't know. I'm just in fight mode. I'm edgy. I'm aggressive all the time. I'm just ready to fight. I'm 100% in fight mode. Like I said, I could fight him tomorrow. I'm ready, absolutely ready. I cannot wait for one more week. But yeah, it's gonna be an amazing fight. Keita is somebody who I respect and admire, honestly. He's a good champion. He's courageous. I respect that. He does not shy away from fights. That is something I also respect. I'm similar in that way. And it's going to be an amazing fight. This is, honestly, in my opinion, one of the best fights of the card.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a massive fight. And I see it in that co-main event slot at the moment, which is obviously massive for yourself as well. And Keita's kind of, I wouldn't say stumbled in his last performance, but he didn't look as dominant as usual. I mean, how much do you, as his next opponent, take from a performance like that? Or do you just say, "Hey, I'm going to get the best Keita on the night. That's what I'm going to prepare for"?
That's absolutely what I'm thinking. I'm going to get the best Keita. The last one, maybe the bad weight cut, maybe it wasn't his night. I am extremely sure that he will be 100% ready coming in to take my head off. And I'm ready. I want the best version of Keita, honestly. I don't want an easy fight. I want it to be a bloodshed, and hopefully it will be a bloodshed.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm sure whatever way it goes, it'll be entertaining. I mean, what do you see in his style that you can obviously point towards and say, okay, without obviously giving your game plan away too much, but what do you see in his style that makes you think, okay, I can really challenge this guy here? Is it in that wrestling, or do you want to challenge yourself in the
It's
striking
everywhere.
with him?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Considering the power, I think I have more power than Kate. I think he's way more explosive than me. He's very fast, and that's why people get stung because they're shocked by the speed. When it comes to the strength, when it comes to the power, I don't think he's stronger or punches harder than me. I'm slower. When it comes to wrestling, it's not even a debate. I'm going to take him down and I'm going to maul him on the ground.
Yeah, that's obviously quite a clear path to victory for you. We haven't really seen him tested too much in there. Is the aim to try and break his will and try and get the finish? Is that what we're looking for?
Oh, always. The simplest way to win every fight, whether you're 1-0 or 20-0, is to make him tired. When people are tired, when they're drowning in water, they will give up every single time. I know that. I have been there and I almost gave up. And I know how hard it is for people not to give up. They have to be extremely willing to die, extremely confident. And we will see if Keita is like that. But I will definitely make him tired. I will be tired myself, but I will kill him or I will die trying.
What a mindset! What a mindset! Does that come from like super hard rounds in the training room? Where does this iron will of yours kind of come from? Because it's really bursting out the screen at me.
Yeah, honestly, the confidence only comes from training. We spar every day. Yesterday, I did a 15-minute sparring round with one of the top welterweights in Europe. And yeah, I mean, that's where my confidence comes from. One 15-minute round, no breaks, just full-on pride days.
Pride rules.
And yeah, we spar every single day, sometimes 45 minutes, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on the intensity of the sparring, but we spar every single day. And that's where my confidence comes from. I tell everybody, I know that these guys are not putting in the work that I am putting in. And I know they honestly are not, they don't have the physique that I have. This is something that God has given me and I use my attributes very well.
Yeah, amazing, man. I mean, it sounds rough. And you haven't got a scratch on you, so obviously you did pretty well in
Yeah.
that 15-minute round. So,
Yeah.
so obviously things went well. Just to finish off, the remainder of the card has obviously got Paradisa and Torres at the top. How do you see that matchup going? Are you looking forward to hopefully getting back to the changing room, having been victorious, to be able to watch it?
I'm rooting for Ronnie. I think Ronnie will win probably by stoppage over Torres or unanimous decision against the Duque. I don't know how it's gonna go. It's a clash of styles, a stand-up guy versus a grappler. I'm rooting for Ronnie all the way because I think me versus Ronnie in the finals is gonna be electric. But I can see Duque winning as well. He has one of the best grapplings in the tournament. Well, he's a pretty good grappler, one of the best grapplers in the tournament. Good wrestling, good chain wrestling. So yeah, I don't know. Ronnie versus Ronnie versus Duque could be 50-50, but I think he's gonna walk to Torres, honestly, easily.
Yeah, and obviously he's a massive name in the division and in Octagon itself. And for yourself, should everything go well in this fight, you're looking at, I think, Legierski in the next round, if I'm correct with the pyramid. How much do you look forward? I mean, do you actually, or are you just single-handedly focused on this fight?
Yeah, I shut out everything except this fight, but I have been contemplating a little bit about Legierski. I think it's gonna be my toughest match because we're similar in style. He's very physical. He has good wrestling and jiu-jitsu, not as good as me, I think. And I think his stand-up is a little worse than mine, but it's gonna be that's probably gonna be my toughest fight. He has good cardio. He's a dog. He wants to fight. And style-wise, it makes a fun fight. I think Legierski is gonna be my toughest fight. We will see.
Yeah, I mean, any fight in the Tipsport Gamechanger is an incredible fight, and obviously, I hope everything does go well on July 20th. Listen, man, I'll just pass it over to you for the final word. Any shout outs, any sponsors, or anyone you want to mention before we finish up?
Yeah, shout out to my club, Tsardushan Silny, my gym, and a shout out to Arena Fight, who are actually streaming the entire event on their channel as well.
Nice, sick. Listen, that's Predrag Bogdanovic going down against Losene Keita, Octagon 59, July 20th. So a couple of weeks out now. Thank you so much for your time, my friend. And listen, the best of luck for your fight.
God bless, brother. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Cheers.